to that bloody bird. Good morning. So they're calling for thunderstorms today. I'm talking very quietly because it's only like 6:30 and all the houses around me, they got their windows open. They're still in bed sleeping. Anyhow, I'll take you for a quick tour of my garden. This is a bed of green curly kale that survived the winter here, and as you can see, they're bolting. See that? So I'm going to pick some and taste it if it's not bitter yet, because usually when they bolt they go bitter. So I'm going to try and see if it's not bitter, then I'll harvest as much as I can and just dehydrate it. This is my bee garden. Oh, look at all that comfrey. It's all growing so well, so fast. This here is soapwort. One day I will dig it up and try it. Apparently if you dry the roots, take a piece of the root, dry it out, and place it in your hand, a little bit of water, rub it around, you know, rub it in your hands, and apparently it foams up like soap. This is mother's wort. You can dry these leaves and make tea out of it, and it helps calm your anxiety, apparently. It tastes pretty good though. I did it last year. More Egyptian walking onions. That's my rock garden. Okay, see how red my face is? Let me show you what I just did. I'll give you a little bit of my garden tour. Those of you who have been watching my videos know that we had redid our front walkway. We hauled a lot of that heavy clay into our backyard and filled a couple of garden beds with it. So anyhow, let me show you what I just did. Look how red my face is, holy cow. Okay. By the way, this is my cabbage, and these are my blueberries that I had transplanted into these pots about a week ago. They're doing really well. This is a bag of tomatoes, potatoes, but they're coming up soon, hopefully. That's my garlic. Pretty soon I'll be harvesting that. I think I have to wait until they turn a little bit brown, dried out a little bit. This is my first time growing garlic. I put this netting up here because I am growing buttercup squash. I started that from seed. All of this I started from seed. Buttercup squash, that is a sunflower, that is a, you see that? Cherry tomato, marigolds, another cherry tomato, and a whole bunch of spinach and turnip. This is one of my kale from last year. All the kale that I planted last year and survived the winter, all bolted and bloomed. Let me give you this is my beautiful kale bed that I loved so much. This was my green curly kale, and it survived the winter, and it's only what, June 2nd today. This bolted like crazy and bloomed. Look at that. It is actually quite beautiful. See that? I really love that. It is attracting a lot of bees, a lot of bumblebees, and believe it or not, I saw yesterday sorry guys, my battery just died, so I just have to plug it in. I had to get a new one out. Back we go. Okay, so this is my kale that bloomed. Sorry, my battery just died. I just had to replace it. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Look at all the worker bees. I don't know if you can see them. A whole pile of worker bees, bumblebees. Yesterday I actually saw honeybees. Really beautiful. Okay. This, by the way, I planted a pumpkin here last fall. There was a rotting pumpkin. I put it in the soil here, and the worms ate it up, and these seeds are sprouting. Here I planted my 2 cucamelons and about 4 tomatoes. These are my Amish paste tomatoes in here. I started everything from seed. This is a new compost in place bin that I'm starting. And this is the area where we put all that clay from our front walkway last fall. It was a big heaping mound, and I had it covered in blue plastic, and so I didn't want it washing all over the garden. Anyhow, I just shoveled it all out and hauled it over to one of our new garden beds. So this is all that clay from the front walkway, and so I think what I'm going to do is order some compost. I've never ordered compost before, but I will do it. Anyhow, and that's why I'm bloody red. Oh, and here's my beautiful Alaska peas. Look at these guys. Okay, see that? It's almost taller than me. Hold on a sec. See? See that? Almost taller than me. And this is my other rock garden that I have my, that is horseradish, motherwort. I will be picking some leaves soon, and I'm going to start drying these. You can make really nice tea out of this, and it helps reduce anxiety. This is my Egyptian walking onions. See these? These are going to sprout soon. You'll have 3 little tiny onion bulbs, and they kind of tip over and they touch the soil, and that's why they take root, and that's why they call them walking onions. This is my comfrey, one of them. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. I really do love this plant. I pull a lot of leaves off and I just throw them in the garden bed. It adds a lot of nitrogen to the garden bed, and I also use it for making homemade fertilizer. I just pull a bunch of leaves off, throw them in a bucket of water, put a lid on, stir it for a couple of weeks, and then I fertilize everything. And these are more Egyptian walking onions. It's another one of my broccoli plants. That is another compost in place. So this one I started last year. So see, there's a bucket in there. I throw kitchen scraps in there and then paper on top, like a napkin or something. And you have to water it a lot and keep it wet and moist. And so the reason why I put paper in there is because even though the lid's on, worms really do come up. I find they react better if you have paper over the scraps. A lot of worms come up and they just do a better job. This rock is on there because I don't want any squirrels or you know, mice getting in there. Don't want to breed any mice around here. That's my banana tree from my house. So this, he wasn't doing very well in the house, so I brought him out, and it's a dwarf banana tree. I have 2 of these. And see, there's a little pup growing. See that? Little baby banana trees are called pups. So I started off, I bought this tree a couple of years ago, and I only had the one. And then last year I put it out in the front, on my back porch. And we got a lot of rain and a lot of pups grew. And I pulled them apart, and 2 of them survived. So I now have 2 banana trees. See this? This is a broccoli. All my vegetables I started from seeds. Now, is that actually a broccoli or a seed head? I'm just hoping it's broccoli. But look at all the little shoots. This is why I chose this kind, because it has a lot of shoots on the side. I don't want a big head of broccoli. I just want a bunch of little shoots. It's easier to pick and then freeze. So that is turnip. That's my blue Scotch kale. So is that one. So is that one. And that is lemon balm. And this is the inside of my makeshift greenhouse. That's my potatoes that I started from potatoes that actually sprouted in the bag, store-bought potatoes. And you know what? I had done this, when was it? Last winter. And I had a potato sprouting on the counter and I put it in soil. And somebody made a comment saying that because it's store-bought, there's no way I'm going to actually get any potatoes from it. Well, I had it in a white bucket, and I don't know if those of you who don't know, I have a cat named Jasper who's a big 30-pounder, and he actually jumped over the bucket one day and knocked it over. There was soil everywhere, and wow. So anyhow, I went to scoop it up, and guess what? I found 2 tiny little potatoes that had grown. So you know what? Store-bought potatoes, you can grow potatoes. So, and that's all my spinach. We've been harvesting that and eating it. These are my lemon trees that I started from seed. I don't think I'll get any actual lemons from them. I mean, this is Canada. They can only stay outside for so long. But they are beautiful trees. And these are my mulberry cuttings that I took. I actually made about 8 cuttings, and it's just an experiment. I wanted to grow some dwarf fruit trees, and most of the places are sold out, and what they had I did not want. So I thought to myself, you know what, I've got this big giant mulberry tree in my backyard. It's a 30 footer that the birds planted, and so it grows super fast. It's super hardy. And we trimmed it so high, you know, all the branches down at the bottom, we trimmed them right up so we can't even get the fruit. So it's actually a tree for the birds. And so I got my ladder, went up, and I cut off a long branch, and I made about 8 cuttings. There's one here, and stuck them in the soil. So you know, so for example, I went online. I learned how to do this online. So this is an experiment, right? Okay, so you see how the shoots, like the new branches, come off? When you cut that off, you have these little knobs, right? And so anyhow, you put about 2 or 3. Make sure about 2 or 3 are under the soil, like in the soil there. And so when you cut it really close to the knob there. I don't know what you call that, but the little branch. And not too far down, because it doesn't take root at the bottom. It takes root from here, from the knobs there, the little branches that you cut off. Whoops, sorry. So damn easy. There you go. So far, these guys haven't died, and it's been only, what, 4 days? So we'll see what happens. And this is all my ginger and turmeric that I had planted. These took root on my counter. Once again, these are not organic, and they still took root. So I'm not sure which is which. You can tell when the leaves sprout. So, but I had like 4 pieces of ginger and 2 pieces of turmeric. And we use so much of this stuff. I had this growing last year as well, and we did harvest it. There's another one there. See, there's a little, see that? Little green knob on the, see? And I just plant it just below the soil. I don't actually stick it down about 2 inches or anything. So, there you go. Man, it's hot in this greenhouse. Holy cow, it's like, what, 90 degrees it says, but the humidity level here in southern Ontario is super high. So that's why I have a hard time dehydrating a lot of stuff. It takes like 18 hours to dehydrate chives because of the humidity level. Anyhow, you guys have a great day.